Welcome to 45 News Utah. Today we're going to talk about a few topics that I think a lot of mainstream media is not covering, but there is some on Utah news. So, again, this is 45 News Utah here in Cedar City. Hopefully, we can get it up to 50 subscribers to get this to be a little bigger platform, and I can go live every day because I've been going live on YouTube now or Facebook for 3 years. Trying to do a YouTube channel has been really tough. We have 1,300 subscribers on Facebook. We also have, maybe 100 to 200 people that watch the show daily. I was off for a couple days with my father, my dad, but we're back. So let's get this platform moving and try to get this to a live show daily so you cram it in with Russell Brand and others like Paul Bagley. This is a Christian broadcast, really no church to speak of other than the fellowship we call the Peace Congregation. So that's the rundown. We're going to try to do more with the Saturday Sabbath is a big one. Starts Friday night to Friday at sunset to Saturday at sunset. And that'll be our big deal weekly is to do the Sabbath. And remember, Christ said he is the Lord of the Sabbath. So that is how we're going to go forward. But every day, and hear me out on that. If you're not a Christian, just hear me out. Let me explain a few issues that the churches have been pushing upon the people and give you a better perspective into what's really going on, why our system is so screwed up, why every time we try to fix what's going on, we literally run the definition of insanity by doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. That's what government is, and that's what the current affairs of the world and the past affairs of this nation, along with Europe and other supposed democracies across planet Earth. Even though we're a constitutional republic, we're in the spirit of a democracy. But none of this will ever work if we don't decide to go back to the roots of what this nation was founded on. And it wasn't just the rights to go forth, bear fruit, and prosper, and to conquer and take everything from everybody else. We have to eliminate that mindset if we're going to continue, if we're going to have a better world to live in for all of us. Homeless people should not be a thing. People without food should not be a thing. This world needs to come together. We need to come together quickly. If we don't, the repercussions of our actions with our supposed representatives is only going to exacerbate the situation. So let's get into KSL. Let's actually go to Fox News. Remember, today we're going to do a live show on Facebook at about 10:30ish, and it will be recorded live. You can go to 45 News Utah and watch it on replay. And until we get 50 subscribers, we will not be doing a live show on YouTube. Remember, this has been going for 3 years. I have received zero for this. I've given away a lot of blue chalcedony agate to followers. Maybe we'll get back into that a little bit more. We'll do a free drawing every week. But let's see where we can get on this platform and go from there. Trump's legal team hints at fresh concerns as both sides gear up for closing arguments. Finally, this will determine the fate of the future with the election coming up. Either way, I think if Trump's found not guilty, that will affect the election as far as just Trump able to go out and do the next trial. Here we go. So, but if he's found guilty, this is going to be a disaster for the country, a disaster for the election. That's my take on this. This is stuck on stupid. We need to just focus on the future, getting out of the wars, and fixing the economy for everybody, because nobody deserves to be paying hyperinflation, especially those of us that are out there working our guts out with a 40 to 50 hour a week job. There's a better future out there, everybody. They stole $34 trillion with a T is gone. That's in debt. That's not the average expenditure of this monstrosity known as the federal government, let alone our state governments or city county governments. These Representatives are out of control. There is no checks and balances in all of our systems. We need to go back to the basics, reset the entire system, where the kind of money that's being pumped into the economy needs to be pumped into the people, not into the corporations. I will stand by that. This is the largest theft in human history. Has happened since 2020. This is absolutely the largest theft in human history. The devaluation of the dollars to cushion the blows from a $33 trillion debt, and from the trillions they have taken out for bills that has been spread frivolously to prop up an economy that is flailing monstrously, demonically. There's not enough money to go around for the poor. There's only money for the rich and upper class. Anybody that's below the rich class, you're feeling the truth, and you're seeing the truth every day in your lives. It's time to actually call out the the representatives for this activity and for the monster corporations. That's the way it is. You can't be on the side of them, because on the side of them has never worked. And if you live out your 80 years on Earth, if you're lucky, in the end you'll look back and say, what was it worth? Because your cars, your trucks, your houses just end up in probate, or end up in a, has to be hidden inside of some kind of living will trust, and it goes to your children, and then your life is gone. It's like, I did it for my kids. What is it worth if the world doesn't come together and finally, once and for all, get rid of the upper echelons running our governments that are supposed to be there for and by the people, not by the rich? We made millionaires billionaires. You're going to be dealing with my polyps, by the way. I have extreme polyps and sinus issues. I apologize. So Biden administration quietly reverses course, approving Memorial Day mass after backlash. So apparently the mass was eliminated by Biden, apparently, out of left field. This is a Fox News article. Biden administration reverses course, grants permit for Catholic groups Memorial Day mass at National Cemetery. Knights of Columbus sued after being denied a permit for a second straight year to hold Memorial Day mass at Virginia National Cemetery. Not good for the supposed Catholic known as Joe Biden. I have a little bit of problems with that, with calling people father anyway. Just saying. Oh, we got the dog's barking at somebody outside. You're going to hear my dog bark continuously because she is afraid of the world outside. Liberal news outlet admits why it initially passed on. We're going to shut the door. This is a basic live broadcast, everybody. We're going to shut this door. Okay, you little Avy, if you can't do it, I'm going to shut the door. There you go. I gotta love her. She's such a good dog. We're not going to edit this because this show will be live if we get the 50 subscribers. This show will be just like this. You'll see the average, everything happening, nothing will be stopped. I'll be drinking my coffee here with you, going through the news every day before I go to work. And I do work a regular job, Looks like the page is unresponsive at this time. So, liberal news outlet admits why it initially passed on Alito flag story. So let's see if we get to this. Don't love thy neighbor. One of the biggest commandments of Lord Yeshua in Aramaic, or Jesus Christ in English, was to love your neighbor as you love yourself. That is the end of all wars, the end of all hatred, the end of all stealing and lies and theft and corruption and gossip. Okay. WAPO declined to report on story at time because it seemed like neighborhood disputes. So Alito previously told Fox News that his wife was the one who hung the flag in response to insults from a neighbor. This is a Supreme Court, I don't know. I agreed. Okay, so this is something when Alito says wife displayed upside down flag after argument with insulting neighbor. This is a big nothing burger, everybody. Big nothing burger. Just saying. Yeah. Alito previously told Fox News that his wife was the one that hung this. So you have a Supreme Court's wife actually hanging the American flag upside down. Now, it's in distress. America's in distress, and anybody can see this because we are at this point. We took the Afghanistan war, the Iraq war, the Syrian war we were involved in, Libya, what we did to Gaddafi, and the war in the Middle East. Period, to another level. We have consistently been at war. We promised never again with Vietnam. We took that, put it on steroids, went into Afghanistan because a guy was on dialysis that flew planes into our Twin Towers, which is the globalists. We spent the next couple decades chasing a guy on dialysis that was actually in Pakistan. He was in Pakistan. There was never babies thrown out of incubators in Iraq, Kuwait. Never happened. It's false. Disinformation. They didn't throw babies in Iraq or Kuwait out of incubators. This whole thing's been a lie. There was no weapons of mass destruction. The distraction is absolutely astronomical. You have to come to that conclusion. This nation has been at war along with Britain and Europe, NATO, with all of the Middle East, basically, with Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya. Over what? What was the main goal? What's the Houthi rebels? I mean, what did they do prior? We funded Saudi Arabia blowing the Houthis up. They basically died in droves and nobody cares, starved to death by mass starvation. Yet we continued with these governments that continually took from us, caused a $34 trillion debt, not to mention the money they stole just period, and deflated our dollar to the point now hyperinflation has hit. They mass migrated us with 25 to 50 million illegal immigrants and those sanctuary seekers that come across our southern border that have put a strain on all living conditions, on the environment. 50 million people since 2018 minimum have crossed our borders. Do you realize the implications of the stress and strains on our local resources, diverse wildlife, our housing for our own people, the food supplies? You wonder why everything's more expensive, right? It's like, it's a supply chain. It's a supply. A lot of people got really rich. Really rich. I'm talking rich. Wake up. Wake up. This isn't a supply chain issue or a shortage issue. This is an issue of supply and demand, and they do it. They do it. The demand on power, the demand on food, the demand on water, the demand on the entire environment. Millions, 50 million people. This is a wagons west moment for America in the past 3 years, going on 4. You can't justify that. Even as a Christian, you can't justify this. In my local town, it's like an episode of Friends throughout the entire city. There's people parked everywhere. There's cars everywhere. Everywhere. Brand new cars. Cars everywhere. Cars, trucks, cars. Living in townhomes with a brand new truck in the driveway. I mean, the smaller the house, the better. The more people in the house, the more. These are single family homes that's never meant to be multiple family dwellings. They're not registered as apartments. They're just basically turn a single family house into a money-making pit through rental. $800 per person, or a $1,700 to $1,800 rent for a townhome or an apartment. This is ridiculous. The average wage I see on Indeed.com is $20 for the high-paying jobs. That's $20 an hour. It's got to stop, everybody. It's got to stop. This can't continue. If it doesn't stop, eventually the music's going to stop, like in 2008. And after this pandemic and everybody told to hide in their basement, where do we end up when the music stops playing? How long until this massive hyperinflation caused by mass migration and shortages makes the rich rich, and the money printing, the money dumping the economy by Janet Yellen and the Federal Reserve? Where are we going to be when this all stops? You got to ask yourself, how long can the facade keep up? How long can we push and run around this world as maniacs, trying to see all the stuff and do all the things that, because 3 years locked in the basement or 2 years hiding from a virus, everybody took their frustration out on the world, on travel, and You ought to see Zion National Park. Don't even standing room only. It's insane. It's stupid. Our lakes, reservoirs, all holidays. There's just thousands of people. This isn't a good thing, everybody. We need to focus on what's real in this world. What's real? What is real? What is real in this world? You've seen how your economy can be completely shut down. Fox News, or actually KUTV2 News, Utah just came out with a story about bird flu detected in beef. 96 cows were tested. They found bird flu. I mean, where are we? Where are we? We're one pandemic away from an entire lockdown again, and they reset the entire system. The system's been reset. I have people I know, friends, acquaintances, followers that are losing loved ones just out of the blue. Young, healthy loved ones, just like the PGA golfer that committed suicide. No news. I mean, where are we? Instead, you go to Fox, you go to CNN, and you go to America's retirement crisis grows, so does the dream of retiring abroad. There's not enough money to retire anymore if you work your life away. It seems like you're just the average schmuck. There has to be enough children to work, or kids, young people to work to pay for Social Security. There's not enough young people. They bring 50 million people into their young working age to prop up the entire failing economy. The reason why it's failing is because of hyperinflation. The reason why it's failing is because the American dream fell through the cracks. You got to be asleep to believe it. Like George Carlin said, this is a dream. You got to be asleep to believe it. The reason why is because we work our lives away to owe taxes, eventually pay death taxes, and have to pay estate taxes, and all of our fortunes, everything we ever gained was gone. It just gets ripped apart. I left this to my kids. I'm going to leave to my kids the truth. The truth. I died October 7th, 2006. I died of hypothermic shock. I was up Cedar Canyon by Woods Ranch. I got out of the back of a Blazer with my 7mm Magnum rifle and my binoculars to go to a cabin my ex-girlfriend had. It was her family's cabin. I tripped in a rut, broke my ankle, laid in the snow, in the cold. Told my friend to get a cigarette for me. My girlfriend's sister was an EMT. As I laid there in the cold, I started going into shock. And hypothermia set in because I was laying in the snow. Wet snow, October snow. They got me in the truck and I shook and shook and shook until I died. I shot up in the sky and I sat right there above Cedar Canyon, above Woods Ranch, up Cedar Canyon, Cedar City. I was as high as the clouds. Watched my body go down the canyon, the tail lights, looking at my hands in this night sky. Couldn't go anywhere. Just spun around. That's all I could do. Couldn't go up, couldn't go down, couldn't go sideways. Just watched my body, the truck going down the highway all the way down. Dead. Dead. And oh, was it beautiful. Oh, was it beautiful. Wasn't cold, wasn't afraid, thought about my kids, thought about my life. I was a single father of 3. Literally mom, dad. I was mom, dad. But it didn't matter. It was just like, it was okay. It was okay. It's going to be okay. God shot me up like a rocket into the sky. And he shot me back into my body. I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. I begged to not come back. This life that you have with this news and chaos everywhere. The news and chaos. Those of you that believe in the DNC, those of you that believe in the RNC, those of you that believe in false idols, hear me. Hamas attacked Israel October 7th last year. I went back up to Woods Ranch. I videoed on the very day it was the rifle bull elk hunt, the hunt, Utah over-the-counter bull elk season started. When I died, it was October 7th, opening day. We looked it up on the medical records. I came back to life, went to the ER, I was fine, my leg was broke, but it was so beautiful that I had died. I took my phone up there with my wife this year. The people everywhere, by the way. Never before my history of this place was it like this at Woods Ranch. And I videoed that Pegasus is the location of the Father's kingdom because I was headed to Pegasus. That's where I was going to. Pegasus, where the Milky Way is, and Pegasus, that's heaven actual. That is the Father's kingdom. I went right back the very same day. Very same day. This last year, 2023. And I said, I need a big sign to show my wife that this is all true. It's all true. You're going to go up. Heaven is there. There is a heaven. I didn't know it was Pegasus. I didn't have a clue. But that's what showed up on the star map was Pegasus. Hamas invaded Israel that day. Just saying. Just saying. I looked at the time. We were right there at the time that I died, per the medical record. When I went to the ER, I know I'd gone home after she brought me down, showered, and went to the ER. Went back about an hour's time, and there was Pegasus. We came out of our camp up top and drove back down to be there at that moment, just after sunset, just about an hour. What are we doing here? Near-death experience. I was dead. There was no near-death experience. It was death. It was death. There was the EMT there. I was dead. I was dead. So that into, why would I be up there? Why was I just so high and hit a roof? Why did I hit a roof? Why did that stop me right there? Well, I didn't know until Buffy St. Marie's song, Lord Lift Us Up Where We Belong, come on, and I was like, this is it. This is why. Now I get it. Christ, and I read the gospel, Christ meets us up in the air. Those that are dead in Christ get risen, and those that are alive, and he gathers those that are up in the air waiting for him. Yes, you wait up in the air for Christ. I was there. There's no trumpets. There was no, I met this guy up there, and he looked like, there was no going down through a tunnel. There was no going up sideways. There was just straight up, just poof, like a fastest thing ever, just like Christ says, I'll be back, or I'm going to go up and make a place ready. Boom, I was gone. It was October 7th, 2006. Hamas invaded Israel October 7th, 2023. 45 News Utah, I've been talking about it on Facebook. I was going to go show you exactly where heaven is, and I did. So what does that do for you? It frees you. If you believe, it frees you. This kingdom they have isn't a kingdom. There's no kingdom. You're not a king. They're not a king. You're not a king. Nothing here matters. It's you can't be a citizen of this. The news, the countries, I'm a citizen. Look up. What citizen are you? What? Yay or nay to him, that's it in the courts. Don't call anybody father. There's only one Father in heaven. No father, no. Christ himself, in his own words, said, don't call anybody father. How do you call somebody father? Well, I said, I bear my confession. Christ said, don't swear an oath on the Bible or anything here. But I swear an oath to uphold the Constitution. I'm an oath keeper. I went before the court and I swore an oath. I'm a police officer. I swear an oath. What did Christ say in the Bible right there in Revelations? You getting it? Yeah. This is God's footstool. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. The kingdom is coming. You came near to Christ right now. You've come near to the kingdom. Okay? Yeshua. This is it. But it's got to be on earth like it is in heaven. How do you expect the kingdom to come and you to be a citizen of it when you don't act like it or even pretend that it's real? Well, Well, I'm lost. That's because where are you going? Well, I feel lost today. Well, what was your plan here? You can't be lost if you don't know where you're going. You have no directive if you don't know the fact that the kingdom comes. I've been there. I'm a witness to it. Well, that was no. Through studying the Bible, I understand the truth now. So what are we doing here? What is the point of listening to them, answering to them, believing them, caring about what they say? I'm a member of this. I'm a part of it. They will do what they do, and they're never going to stop. Nothing's ever going to be fixed. In 2,000 years, they haven't fixed anything. You elect representatives, they do the same crap they do to everybody. You get old, you die, the kids take all your stuff. They destroy it. Usually destroy your legacy completely. We've been swearing oaths and answering to these tax collectors and out there, taking oaths to stuff like the Constitution. I take the oath to the Constitution. You're not an American. No, I'm actually a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. My God created you, but you haven't died yet. That's the difference. I used to be in the same shoes. I was there with you at one time. But I didn't realize I was living a lie. Worry about today, not tomorrow. It's got its own problems. That's what Christ said. Yeshua said that. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't save up treasures here. It's not worth it. What do you save your treasure? Oh, I'm going to say the IRS comes after you. The kids tear it apart. It's not worth it. Stop it. You're hurting yourself. Give. Love your neighbor. No more war. Murder. Thou shalt not murder. Christ said thou shalt not kill, and times it by 1,000 by saying don't even harm a child. You do. You put a millstone around your neck, throw yourself in the ocean, basically. He took thou shalt not kill like he said. He spoke it. Anybody's a Christian, you believe this, so you're not a Christian. I take it further. You harm a child, you're done. So where's the wars? Well, we got to get revenge because Christ said the revenge is his, not yours. We got to punish those people. That's revenge. What did Christ say about those that sinned? Repent and forgive. Forgive them. Brother, if he trespasses, forgive your trespasses. No trespassing. It's all lies. It's all lies. No trespassing. Get off my property. This is my private property. How do you have private land when the Lord Jesus Christ, or Yeshua in Hebrew, told you to forgive for their trespasses? Everybody. How do you have no trespassing are signs? That's against Christ. No trespassing. Whoops. Whoopsie. Why? Because you're supposed to forgive. Forgive for the debts. As you get debt, as you're forgiven for your debts, they forgive their debts to you. Why is everybody in debt? Well, because that's the way the economy works. No, that works for the rich people. Your debt slavery to them has got to end. You want to fix all this. It's not burning down buildings. It's stop the banksters from doing what they're doing. Everything Christ told you to do is what they're doing opposite. Quasi-Christ. The banksters are quasi. They're against Christ. They're absolutely against Christ. The tax collectors are against Christ. Everything, the publicans are against Christ. All of them. They're against Christ. They're anti-Christ. And Christians keep living in this world thinking we're just going to have the house on the hill. You're supposed to be a light. A temple, a light. Your body's the temple. How does that work? Well, my $2 million house. Christ said, sell everything, give to the poor, and take up your cross if you follow him. See, there's a flock out there, everybody. And there's a shepherd. There's one teacher. Christ told you not to call anybody teacher or rabbi. There's one teacher. And in Hebrew, his name's Yeshua. In Aramaic, his native tongue, it's Yeshua. That's it. If you're not in Christ's flock, who are you with? Well, I don't know this Christ guy. Well, then I'm sorry. I hope you change your mind, because everything you're asking for, love, light, forgiveness. They own this world, everybody. They own it. We pay to them. We work for them. They take and take and take, and they'll never stop. They're infected with the sickness of greed. There's an infection. It's been going on for over 10,000 years. Greed. Do you realize what $33 trillion in debt alone, how much money that actually is that they've stolen in just debt? That's not including all the money that's been supposedly made, the wealth. And yet, we have homeless. And well, it's because they can't get off drugs. Most people turn to drugs and alcohol out of sadness, failure, hopelessness, seeking for something more even. When it was right there in front of them the whole time, but we were living in an anti-Christ society. Well, I've never seen anything played. I could never imagine how well this has been played on the people. Played. Martyred. What are you going to do when 1,000 years of peace comes and you live for 1,000 years at the very minimum on earth? No more wars. No one's going to kill each other. 1,000-year-old. You live 1,000 years here on earth, 20 years old health-wise, with the kingdom. Why would you go to war? Why would you kill? Your action would have equal or greater reaction. Why would you even harm your neighbor? You'd love your neighbor. You'd take care. Everybody take care of everybody. You'd be here for 1,000 years. No hunger. The rich, the governments, the corporations have the wealth, everybody. There's only so many nuts on the tree that it produces. There's only so much wealth. They regulate it through banks. The Federal Reserve is the banksters. They're the ones that hold it all. It goes to you, then it goes to corporations. It's not ours. They own the wealth. They own the system. Until we go to every kingdom, which will be smashed, warred with tongues. Every kingdom say, let my people go. We grow the food. The farmer grows the food. The corporation says, mine. When they're out of the way, we're not supporting them anymore. We're not going to their court saying, oh, please don't arrest me and throw me in prison for the rest of my life. We say yes or no to them. When we treat lawyers like they should be treated, bear our testimony against them, lawyers, judges. We have a lawless society. Oh, really? That's what they promote. We got a drug epidemic, everybody. We got a drug epidemic. Why? Faith. They own the house. We beat each other up. Over what? You want the kingdom to come. You want the kingdom. You want love and prosperity and happiness. This is the way. All the environmentalism, this is the way. Christ said in Aramaic, live with earth. Don't live, don't take and destroy, conquer, to live with earth. Go out through the world. You're supposed to live and be in awe of God's creation, because man doesn't create anything but pain and suffering. I'll go before the world. I'll go before the courts and explain this to them exactly. What are you here for? You're going to die. You're all going to die. What did you do from the time you was born to the time you die? All the things, your strength, your thoughts, your mobility are all going to slip away. Well, I got 20 or 30 years. That's a blink of an eye, everybody. It's a blink of an eye. Do we want the kingdom here? Do you want a kingdom where nobody hurts, nobody's poor, nobody has to worry? Where your neighbor is your brother, your sister? You have to change the whole mindset of the kingdom. There's 8 billion of us. 8 billion. We can take care of the earth. We can take care of each other. No more worries. They have stolen enough wealth so far that if that money wasn't stolen, we could lift everybody up. Well, I'd rather work my 50, 60 hours a week and know that everybody's going to be fine. If not, it's like, it's individuality, it's mine. I'm a lone wolf. Wolf. Wolves die alone. Lone wolves die alone. Wolves fight for the leaders of the pack. One day you're on top, the next day you're nothing. Shepherds, the shepherd, Yeshua, he takes care of his flock. He lifts up the weak. He watches over them. He loves them and he takes care of them. He doesn't butcher and slaughter them. He's always watching. He's always taking care of you. He leads you to green pastures, keeps you from overgrazing, so you don't destroy the land in which you walk, God's creation. There's one teacher, there's one shepherd, and it's Yeshua. I try to explain the love of Christ to everybody. Entrenched. But what are you waiting? What are you here for? Riches, gold, there'll never be enough blood to fill their bloodlust in wars for their riches. They're just getting rich. They're eating us. They're eating all of our pain, our sufferings, our happiness. They're consuming us. They being the governments and upper classes and the corporations of the world, the big corporations. I'm not talking about small corporations. Those are plugging away right with us. Come to Christ. Find all the answers you ever wanted. You're still a child. They stole your innocence. We're innocent. We are innocent. That's the one thing they stole from every one of you. It's your innocence. What are you here for? Well, God, there's never enough money or blood, is there? Enough wars, enough news. What are we here for? Enough houses, and trucks, and rich. The rich will be consumed by their items and by their lust. Stop it. Stop it. We need a place. We need a stronghold. We need to bring the masses to salvation. I'm asking you. I'm showing you the way. I've already died. I know what happens. There's no misconception. I didn't come on like the Jerry Springer show and talk about my death. I died on October 7th, 2006. Okay? I was busy doing things I had to do. Now I'm here. And I'm telling you it's going to be okay. Just take that step. Surrender, be a sheep, and let the Lord, Yeshua, be your shepherd, and stop it. He loves you. He knows who you are down deep. You don't have to put the facade up to each other anymore. Or go be a lone wolf and find out what happens. Because there's generations before you that have learned a lesson of what it's like being a wolf in sheep's clothing, or just an outright ravenous wolf. It's your chance, world. It's your decision. Please make the right decision. The time is now. The kingdom's here. It's come. What do you expect the kingdom to be? That's up to you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Go to Facebook and remember, subscribe, like, and share. Because you are the reason why. You. Stay to the end with us, please. Bring about the kingdom. It's time. It's time. Let's work for each other. Let's work for the eternity. Let's work for the Father in heaven. Let's work for our shepherd. Let's bring others to the faith and say, no, this is the true Christ. This is the true Christ. You haven't gotten it right, everybody. 2,000 years, it's never been right. This world's full of betrayal. It needs to stop. 10,000 years, we have been doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. We are slaves. We are slaves to them. Stop it. Come to the kingdom. Come to the kingdom. Be with us. Have true salvation. Or continue and see what happens. Thanks for watching.